All right, so this dialogue video, we're going to talk a little bit about sales and show average. Now, first of all, it's very important that you keep in mind that the last thing you're concerned about with the girl is her show average. You want her recruiting and replacing herself within her first 10 shows. You want her to be booking like crazy so she's still in business. And you can always help her to improve her show average. And you certainly want her preventing cancellations. So although sales is last, let's be real. If the girl's sales are really low and she doesn't think she's going to qualify to get her security deposit back, she's not really going to be too excited. So we want them to feel like they're making great money right out of the gate. But also remember that you and I might have a different idea of what a good show is. So it's important for you to have her tell you what her goal is, how much money she wants to make, so that you're not expecting her to be doing $400 and $500 shows and disappointed if she's doing $200 shows to start. So you can help her with her sales, but be watching what she's actually doing. Also, just like with all the other categories, don't confuse the symptom with the disease. Sometimes you're talking to somebody about bookings and the problem is not bookings. She can book, she just has an outrageous cancellation rate. Or you're talking to her about bookings and she can book, but she's only meeting 3 people per show, so she ends up running out of bookings. The same thing can happen with sales. You can think she has a terrible sales average, and yet when you look at it, it's not a terrible sales average. It's her attendance, or it's the age of the group she's in, or something else that's happening. Maybe she's in a low income group or whatever. So always be ready to ask some questions first. I remember learning from the founder of the company that in management, it's more important to know the questions than to know the answers. So whenever you feel like, well, if I call her, I don't even know what to say to her, just prepare a couple of questions for her. Ask her how she felt when she was doing the show. Ask her what she thought the best part of the show was. Ask her how much money she earned. Ask her how much money she earned per hour. Ask her how much money she would like to earn per hour or per night and what for. Because once she's focused on the benefits, then whatever help you're going to give her, she will be more ready to receive. But again, if you just go on the attack mode and say, listen, I notice you have a really low show average. You must be really disappointed. I mean, we got to work on that. She's just going to take offense. Or if she has a really bad, self-image, she's just going to feel worse and worse and worse and not want to be around you. She's not going to think that you really believe in her or you think she's any good at it. Okay, so let's say that you do get a report from a show and it was 4 guests and it was $120 and there was 1 booking. So you're going to start with the praise. You're going to praise her on the fact that she booked 1 out of 4 people. Ask her, how did she do that? What did she do to get that booking? It's not even always what they tell you that they did. It's that you're asking them, so they're consciously thinking about, what did I do to get that? Then you can ask her, did you sell any skincare packages? What did people buy? And then you could say to her, how much money did you make? At this point, you can say, listen, I know your goal is to make $500 a month and you want to do 2 shows a week. So in doing that, we need your show average to be X. So would you like me to help you with your show average? Ask permission to help people instead of just running off and helping them. And then let her know, I can help you with this. We can fix this. But I'm really so excited that you're focused on booking and recruiting first, because that's the most important thing. I mean, we can fix any show average anywhere as long as you've got the bookings up to do it. But if you don't have the bookings up to do it, we can't fix it. Okay, now how do you fix the sales? Well, first and foremost, you do need to find out what she's selling, and you do need to look at attendance. So if attendance really is the problem, let her know that. If she's selling $50, $60 on an average per person, let her know she's doing great, especially since she just started. We just need to get more people there. And then point out to her, imagine if instead of getting 4 people per show, you had 8. So instead of that show being $140, it would have been at least a $280 show, but probably $350, because with those averages, you would have had those couple of extra people that would have been ready to buy skincare. So what can we do to improve your guest attendance and focus it in that direction? So although it's about improving her sales, the solution is improving her guest attendance. But let's say she's doing shows with 6 and 7 and 8 and 9 people and her show average is still really, really low. Well, I got to tell you, I can say from experience that there's a couple of things that are the problem. First and foremost, her guests that are there are not getting a good show. They're not, because they're not excited about the products. So although there can be exceptions where she's in a very low income group, or you can ask her, tell me about the people that were there last night, because you want to find out if they were the same people that have been at her last 3 shows. That can determine it. But generally on an average, if she's selling $120, $150 with 8 people, they're not hearing a good show. So you can say to her, listen, tell me something. Normally the average is $40, $50, $60 a person. And I want to help you to get up to at least that, if not more. What do you think is happening? Tell me what people are saying to you when you present the skincare to them. See, again, you want more information. You don't want to just be preaching at her. Find out more information. And then ask her, how do you think your skincare talk is? Do you think people are really interested in skincare? What kind of objections are you getting from them? So that you can find out if that's the problem. Something I like to say to people is, do you think that you are doing one of these three things? Tell me where you think Tell me where you think the problem is. Is it creating desire? Is it offering it properly? Or is it overcoming objections? Now, you can use this in recruiting, booking, and sales. As a matter of fact, last night at training, I talked to a girl who said, yeah, I'd like to get some help tonight on bookings. So I said, what about it? She said, well, just on bookings. I have to get more bookings. So I said, okay, out of these three areas, creating desire, offering properly, overcoming objections, which do you think it is for you? She said, offering properly. Wasn't that great? She knew right away. And sometimes when they say, I don't know, you just need to come back and say, if you did know, what do you think it might be? And you'll more times than not get an answer. So, why is she not selling skincare? Is she using the skincare herself? Boy, you probably don't even know what your beauty consultants are using. Does she think it's too expensive? Is she doing a great talk, a great Why Alouette talk, a great skincare talk? You know, you can spend a couple of minutes on the phone and just say, hey, give me your Why Alouette talk. Let's pretend I'm a guest at the show. Just put yourself in that mode and start and give me your Why Alouette talk. Or you can say, let's pretend I'm a guest at the show. Picture yourself last night with one of the guests. I'm sitting in the consultation. Tell me what you said. Don't let her say, well, you know what I normally say is, and what I do after that is, and say, no, 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 let's literally role play. Literally sell me skincare. Because remember what I said about effective training. Training is tell them, then show them, then watch them. We keep making the big mistake of telling them. And some of us tell them, show them, show them, show them. Tell them, show them, show them, show them. Tell them, show them, show them. Until they're out of business. But if I was to say to you, well, tell me, how was your consultation? You would say, well, I don't know. You should know. So have her book you, role play with you, sell you. Ask her what her favorite product is. Ask her what she sells the most to everybody. And then say, tell me what you say about that. That'll give you an opportunity to praise the heck out of her and show her why she's getting results in that area and how she can transfer that to her sales or to her bookings or to recruiting. Do you see how all these are starting to overlap now? You need to be focused on helping her to get the results based on her goals, what she wants to do. And, you know, you can challenge her. Let's say she has a perfectly good show average, but her goal is going to require that month for her show average to be a little bit higher. Or maybe you personally need the staff to have a higher show average to start reaching your goals. You can't say to the staff, listen, guys, I need you all to buck up here. We got to get the show average up. Nobody wants to hear that. But what you can do is you can do a staff challenge and you can say, hey, you know what? Our show average on our staff is $340. I know in the franchise, it's usually at least $380. Do you realize that if we each had 2 more people at our shows this month, that we would increase our per person average, our show average actually, by $100? So if you did 6 shows this month and you increased your show average by $100, you would be increasing your sales by $600. And $600 at 25% is that in additional earnings without going out anymore that night. What do you think about that? And get their feedback. Then you can help them with another area of sales, which is collecting absentee orders before the show. Now, this does 2 things. It improves the show average, but it also prevents cancellations. So do you know if your girls are A, offering a gift for absentee orders, or B, if they are teaching their hostesses how to collect absentee orders? That's an area where you can shoot up sales without any more shows right there. Okay, so those are some basic tips and questions that you have for helping people with their show average. If you have a specific situation you need help on, that's what I'm here for. But these basics will help you over and over and over again in your career. Remember, dialogue is just caring about her and thinking, how would I solve this problem if it was me?